Hey, it's Paul. Welcome back to B&B Talk. Don't forget, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Initially, we see Rick, and he's talking to Nicole about the visit with, or her visit with her parents, and he's feeling almost sympathetic to their cause. He knows it's a big adjustment for them, and he offers to let them stay in the guest house, and she says no. Nicole says that they've decided not to change the way they are. They could be happy, but they've decided not to be. And she hopes that Maya never has to hear all the awful things that they've actually been saying about her. And she confesses that Maya doesn't even know that they're in town. And then at one point we see Zende show up, and he sort of asks about her dynamic with her parents. And he's surprised to learn that she's not on good terms. And she asks him, do you always do everything your parents want you to do? And he says, well, I've never had a reason to go against them. He explains that after being in the predicament, he was losing both his parents to AIDS, and then having them come along and take him in, he doesn't want to do anything to go against them. He's never had to be in that position, and they've been great parents. So at one point, Nicole asks him, does that make it weird for him, seeing that she doesn't go along with what her parents want, and does he think less of her? And he tells her that as long as she doesn't think less of him for being a good son, he won't think less of her for not agreeing and not seeing eye to eye with her parents. And then at one point Rick leaves, but he leaves them with a task, and we get to see them do this task. It's just putting papers together, correlating them, and they have fun with each other. You can see them bonding, and they talk a little bit about their past, and you can see them moving closer and closer together. So it's a great thing. So we see Maya, and after she hugs her father, she looks around, she gets suspicious, she wants to know where Nicole is, and eventually they tell her that Nicole didn't come with them, and Maya says, well, you know what, you don't have to worry, I'm going to look after her. And she tells them that she remembers every harsh word that her father said to her, and her mother as well. Now Maya calls Julius out, and things get a little heated. Now he says it was really hard for him to give up the only son that he's ever known. And Julius then asks about Rick. Now Maya doesn't give out a lot of details about Rick, other than saying that he's at work. Julius says that Maya definitely looks different, and asks her if she is who she wants to be. And then he asks her how prison was. Now she obviously doesn't answer this question, but he gets into a story about a woman back in their hometown, and she works at the library, and she would take Maya's pictures and put them aside, and she would come up to Julius and ask how he was doing, still referring to Maya as a he. And Julius talks about how hard that was for him. And then they get into the fact that he's no longer working, because Vivian tells Maya that he's lost his job. And we get to the heart of why Julius lost his job. And Julius says that he used to hide his nameplate, and obviously that was out of shame. And it gets to the point that things, I guess, got so bad that he started telling people that his son had died. So you get that it's not just cut and dry why he lost his job. There's a lot that has to do with it, and a lot of it's tied up in Maya. Now after hearing that Julius is telling people that his son is dead, Maya asks him point blank if he wishes that she were dead. Now after hearing this, Julius is a bit outraged. He questions why she would ask him something like that. He kind of sums it up by saying that maybe this, obviously Maya becoming transgender, is a test for all of them, and he says maybe I'm the one that failed the test. But he assures Maya that he does not have a problem saying her name. Now Vivian says that she struggled with that, and she talks a little bit about how hard it was for her to come to terms with saying Maya's name and coming to grips with who she is. Now Maya says that being called a freak and a terrible person obviously hurt her and really had an adverse effect on her life. But she says she misses both of them, and that she loves them, but she needs to know that they're okay with her life. And then Julius shocks her by asking what it would take for them to have a fresh start. And she says that they have to accept her as she is in order to do that. Now at that point she recalls the past, and she thanks her mom for keeping her safe, times that she had to hide certain facts from her father in order to keep her safe, and keeping her safe when she was coming home from school. Maya says she knows that they love her, and she's only asking them to respect that she has the right to be happy. And Julius tells her that at that point abruptly that they're leaving. But before he leaves, he tells her it's not just as simple as taking your former life in for repairs and then coming out new. Now at this point, Julius calls Maya by her name, and he walks and stands right in front of her, and it's such a dramatic moment. and he asks her to stand up, and she stands up, and they're looking at each other eye to eye, and he tells her that he's set in his ways, but he's trying, and he says he won't stop being her father, and it's such a gut-wrenching moment. Both of them have tears coming out of their eyes. Her mom has tears coming out of her eyes, and he says he'll try to get to know the woman that she's become and try to find a way to fit into her life. Now at this point, with tears in their eyes, he says, now give your dad some sugar, and they both hug, and it's such a gut-wrenching moment, and that's where we leave things off. So as you can see, this is a blockbuster in terms of episodes, and I can't go on about their acting ability. It is unbelievable, and I really am getting excited about what's to come in this storyline, because you know there's going to be a lot of twists and turns. It's Paul, and it's B&B Talk. Don't forget to follow us on social media, and don't forget, I'm on Periscope. I'm looking for people to chat with live. Thanks, and have a great day.